And welcome to Book Boob. I'm Rachel, and today I'm going to be doing a video that I'm excited to talk about. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and that is talking about some different book series that I want to read that I haven't gotten to yet. I have an 8-book series total I want to mention today, and I'm hoping to get to these book series sometime this year in 2019. Not sure if I will or not. Some of these have been on my TBR for a very long time, but they all sound super intriguing to me. So let's go ahead and jump in and let's talk about the book series that I want to read that I haven't gotten to yet. So the first one I'm going to mention, and I have a list here, so I apologize if I look off screen a few times just to make sure I get it right. Some of these I have in hand, some of them I do not, so I will won't hold some up as well. So the first one I want to talk about is The Diviners by Libba Bray. I believe it is a trilogy, I think. I'm not sure if that's right or not. It's several books. I think there's at least 3 so far, or 3 total. I don't know. Not sure. Should have done my research. But this sounds like a story that I would really, really love. It is a YA series, and I don't know a whole lot about it other than the fact it's very supernatural and it's very creepy. It takes place in the 1920s, and I think it's about this girl that's able to see ghosts or interact with ghosts or something, and there's a murder and there's mystery, and it sounds amazing and like so much fun. I've also heard it is extremely creepy, which sounds awesome. I'm very excited about that. So I really want to dive into that series hopefully this year. I know a lot of people so far on BookTube have read it and loved it, and I really want to be able to jump in and know more about it as well. So the next one after that I'm hoping to get to is the Nevermore series by Jessica Townsend. I've heard nothing but good things about this series. I got picked up the first and second book recently in a Barnes & Noble book sale, but I've heard nothing but good things about this. It sounds amazing. This story follows Morgan Crow, who is this girl who was born on the unluckiest day, and she is blamed for every unlucky thing that happens in her town. And worst of all, she is prophesied to die on midnight of her 11th birthday. So she already knows when she's going to die. But close to that time, this man called Jupiter North comes and whisks her away to this magical world called Nevermore. When she arrives there, though, she's able to avoid her fate. But the thing is, she has to take part in a competition to be able to stay in Nevermore. And if she doesn't be able to get past the competition, then she'll have to go back to her world and most likely probably die when she was supposed to. So this is supposed to be full of magic. I think there's like a magic school related element. There's people that have mentioned kind of it has some Harry Potter feels to it, and it's just so fun and so good. And I've literally heard nothing but just rave reviews. So I'm very excited about reading this series and hoping I can honestly jump into it soon. I hope so. Very excited about it. The next series I'm really hoping to read as well is the Stalking Jack the Ripper series by Carrie Maniscalco. And sorry, I need to see these author names. I'm going to forget them. I can't remember them. But this series, I don't know a whole lot about it other than the fact that it's creepy. A lot of mystery stuff to it. Of course, as you can tell, this first one is kind of centers around Jack the Ripper. And we follow this girl. I don't know what her name is. I don't remember, but people rave about her as a character, and I think she's supposed to be either is wanting to be a doctor and she's in medicine in some way or some form, and she ends up, I think she's trying to figure out the murders of Jack the Ripper, but then I think she's also kind of like overly fascinated with him and like almost slightly infatuated with him or something, just from like his expertise, I guess, on what he does to murder people. I don't know. But it sounds really creepy, really cool. There are 3 books in this series so far. I think there's going to be 4. So I'm really excited to read this. I might try to hold off until October. I don't know. But I've heard a lot of great things about it. This series has been all over BookTube. So I'm excited to jump in and know what it's all about. So I think it'll be fun. After that one, I'm going to jump into some more fairy tale type things. And this one is one that I have. It's a trilogy, and I have it on my Kindle, but I'm not able to hold it for you. And that is The Looking Glass Wars by Frank Bedore? I don't know how to pronounce his last name. But this whole series, I don't know a whole lot about. Again, it's a trilogy, and it's supposed to be a retelling of Alice in Wonderland, but I think it's supposed to be very sort of like political, and there's a big war. It's called Looking Glass War. I think it's just more kind of like a gritty version of Alice in Wonderland, possibly more realistic. I don't know, but I love Alice in Wonderland. I love reading retellings of Alice in Wonderland or spin-offs or things like that. I think they're so much fun. I love them. And I've had this one on my TBR for years, and I still haven't touched it yet. And I really want to read it because I think it's going to be really cool. And I think I've heard good things. I haven't heard good things about it like recently, but it's just something I stumbled upon on Goodreads like forever ago, and it sounded really amazing and like something I would love. So that's the next one. Speaking of Alice in Wonderland, the other one that I also want to read is the Splintered series by A.G. Howard. I'm not really sure how many books are in this series. I'm not sure if it's just 2 or if there's 3 or even more than that. I don't think it's like a really long series. I think it's only 2 or 3 books. But again, this is a Alice in Wonderland retelling, I believe, or at least it follows this girl. I think that's supposed to be a descendant of the original Alice, and I think she thinks she's crazy, and I think like craziness runs in her family, and people kind of assume that she's just nuts and that Wonderland isn't real, or I don't know. Anyways, but it sounds like it's going to be really cool, and I just love retellings of Alice in Wonderland, and I think it's going to be fun. I've had this one on my shelf for a little while too, and I'm excited to jump into it and see what it is all about, because I've heard good things as well. Okay, let's keep on the whole fairy tale thing, and the other one I really want to read is, and I don't have the first book, I have the second one, so I'm going to hold it up just so you can get some kind of context, and that is the Peter and the Starcatcher series by Dave Barry and Ridley Pearson. This is the second book in the series, I believe, and I think there are 5 total in the whole series, and I've heard a lot of good things about this as well. Also, I don't really know a whole lot about it other than the fact that I think it's supposed to be like a continuation, also more of a fleshed out version of Peter Pan, of the original Peter Pan story, which I was obsessed with Peter Pan when I was a kid. I used to have dreams all the time that Peter Pan would come to my window and whisk me to Neverland. Oh, so many dreams. But anyways, that's probably more than you needed to know about me. But I absolutely adore Peter Pan. I'm really excited to jump into something like this. And this is another one I've had on my TBR just forever, and I really need to get to it. It's sad how long I've had this on my TBR, but I've heard a lot of great things, and I've heard a lot of great things about the audiobooks as well. They're really good. I'm not normally an audiobook person, but I may try it out because I've heard they're supposed to be fantastic. So there's another one. All right, I got 2 more left, and both these are actually by the same author, so that's fun. And this one I do not have, and actually I've had a really hard time finding. It's not my library. I'm having a hard time getting a hold of it, and that is the Anna Dressed in Blood series by Kendare Blake. And this series sounds like totally up my alley. It's supposed to be about this, I think, a guy who lives, his family usually hunts and kills ghosts, like vengeful ghosts, poltergeist, things like that. Kind of like a ghost hunter, basically. And he ends up finding out about this ghost who is just sort of on this like bloody rampage, who's, I think her nickname is Anna, dressed in blood. And she's still wearing the dress that she was like murdered in or something. I don't know. But it's supposed to be really, really creepy, paranormal, ghost related. Anything that's ghost related, I usually adore. I believe it's a trilogy, and I really, really want to read it. I know it came out, I think, quite a while ago, and again, I'm having a hard time finding it, but I really want to try to read it, and I think that's like my number 1 book on my TBR, like my oldest book sitting on my TBR. I really, really want to read it. I think it sounds so cool and just so up my alley. I am so for supernatural stuff. It's great. So the last series I'm going to mention today that I really would like to get to is the 3 Dark Crown series, also by Kendare Blake. This is another book that I picked up recently in a book sale at Barnes & Noble, and originally this was a series I heard about that I wasn't terribly interested in because I'm usually not like a political and sort of royalty themed kind of person. I usually don't gravitate towards those reads, but when I heard more about this book, I was intrigued and I thought it sounded really cool and I've heard really good things. So the story follows these 3 princesses, I believe, and they all have a unique ability. One of them is a poisoner to where she can ingest poisons and it doesn't even affect her at all. Another girl I think can control fire, and another one is elemental, and I think elemental in the way of like earth, like she's able to control plants and animals, I think something like that. But there's a whole lot of crazy sibling rivalry going on because the whole thing is once they become of age and their powers develop, I think they're supposed to fight to the death to get the crown. That sounds intense and kind of amazing. I think there are 3, maybe 4 books in the series so far, maybe 3, I don't know. There's still another one coming, I know that much, and so I've got a lot to catch up on. But it sounds really cool and dark and kind of outside my comfort zone, which I think will be really fun. So those are 8 book series that I'm wanting to get to, I haven't gotten to yet. Some of them are newer, some of them are pretty old. Have you read any of these book series I mentioned today? Let me know what you think about them down below. Please don't give any like crazy spoilers or anything. I don't want to spoil any of them. But I would love to hear what you think about them, whether you thought they were great or not so great. Also, are there any series that you really want to get to? Especially ones maybe that have been out for a long time. You're like, I really want to get to that series. Let me know down below as well. I would love to hear it. On this side of the screen over here is my logo. If you click on that, you can subscribe to my channel and follow me on my book journey. On this side over here is a suggestion of another video that you can watch right now. But thank you so much for watching. You rock, and don't forget to keep reading. Bye.